As almost everybody is aware, Assassin's Creed Origins has been revealed, and Ubisoft certainly shocked many gamers with some drastic changes to this next installment, some of which have at this point received mixed responses to others receiving acclaim. That is why today we're going to be breaking down 8 huge gameplay changes coming to Assassin's Creed Origins. At the 8th spot we begin with the skill tree, which reminds me of the one that we saw in Watch Dogs 2. Either way, there will be 3 skill types for our character to utilize, which are the Warrior, Hunter, and Seer. The Warrior is self-explanatory, as this will be for those gamers who wish to use brute force within the gameplay of Origins, while the Hunter is the class for those who favor archery, and lastly Seer has abilities mainly including the use of tools and tricks. As you can see from the screenshots on the screen, we gotta look at the abilities that can be unlocked, such as Master Warrior, which increases the damage of your melee attacks by an additional 1%, or Bow Bearer, which allows you to equip an additional second bow, or also the Firebomb, which allows you to get this bomb and set your enemies ablaze. From the first gameplay demo, we did see some of the other possible abilities, such as having 5 equipped arrows, or even a controllable one, but as I actually mentioned before, most of this is very reminiscent of Watch Dogs 2's skill tree, almost exactly alike, just with an Assassin's Creed touch on it. But I will say I do like that Ubisoft is including RPG elements to better customize how we play the game. To the 7th spot we have is new controls. The one thing that most of us have gotten used to is the same Assassin's Creed gameplay and button scheme, but that all appears to be changing in Origins, as there's no longer a sprinting button, as speed will depend on use of the analog stick now. Additionally, the left shoulder button will be to lock onto your target, and the attack buttons are the right shoulder and trigger. Your shield will also be vital to protecting yourself, as combat has been completely overhauled, but you can block attacks with your shield by raising it with the left bumper of your controller. These changes may seem minor, but with the gameplay of Assassin's Creed Origins being updated, our next experience should feel a lot different compared to previous installments. At the 6th spot we have his enemy AI. The one thing that always really felt a bit odd about battling enemies in any of the past installments was that they would take turns attacking our character, which has finally been axed, as within Assassin's Creed Origins, enemies no longer will follow this old mechanic, but along with that comes the ability to take down multiple enemies with one swing with your sword. And on the flip side, Origins will have smarter enemies that will pose a threat each time based on their level and skill. Speaking of level, here at the 5th spot within Assassin's Creed Origins there will be a new leveling system reaching a max of 40. As we rank up our character, we'll gain points to use in our skill tree to unlock different abilities, as I mentioned earlier. Along with our own leveling, enemies will have their own specific level, so in certain situations it'd be best not to take on enemies that are much higher than our own character. Weapons will also get their own sort of leveling, as within Assassin's Creed Origins, weapons will be either common, rare, or legendary, with varying levels of strength. These can be found throughout the vast world, from sunken ships to secret tombs. But I do want to add that with the addition of these RPG elements, it really feels that Ubisoft specifically looked at The Witcher 3 for inspiration on this, and I like it, as it's nice to have enemies that vary in terms of skill or difficulty, and weapons that are better and worse. To the 4th spot we have his crafting. Very similar to Far Cry, within Assassin's Creed Origins we will be hunting down the wildlife to improve our gear. This includes bracers, armor, shields, weapons, and more. As we hunt down hippos and crocodiles, we'll be utilizing these animals to upgrade and improve much of our inventory to give our character the ultimate setup. But along with hunting animals, we'll also be searching the world of Assassin's Creed Origins to find valuable and specific items to give us the best gear. At the 3rd spot is our playable eagle, Sanu. We got to see Sanu's first action within the gameplay demo, and she seems to be like a drone, which many people have been mixed on. But Sanu is overall a great scout for our character in terms of finding a strategy with enemies or locating places of interest. It also appears most of Sanu's upgrades will come within the Hunter class, and some of the upgrades include having Sanu tag or stun enemies, locate objectives, and cause distractions. Next at the 2nd spot is the changes to the HUD. As you've clearly seen, the minimap is gone and replaced with an Elder Scrolls-like compass at the top, and we also have a place showing our progression with leveling. But during combat we'll also have an adrenaline gauge, which when it does fill up and when both attack buttons are pressed, powerful attacks are unleashed. But lastly, here at the number 1 spot is underwater and tomb raiding gameplay. The one thing that really excites me about underwater gameplay is having areas to explore, other than it just being there with nothing to find or search for. It said we'll be able to explore sunken ships and find potential legendary gear within this environment. But during these treasure hunts we will find predators lurking, such as the crocodile, which will make these adventures a little bit more interesting and intense. But what we'll also experience is tomb raiding, which will show us some rather fierce enemies, such as that giant snake that was teased in the gameplay demo, and it will make treasure hunting a lot more difficult and frightening, with a grand reward hopefully. Anyway guys, those are just some of the changes coming to Assassin's Creed Origins. Seems to be that Ubisoft is truly trying to bring more RPG elements into this franchise, and I have to say it has me excited but also a bit nervous. Either way, I want to hear all of your opinions on this in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Make sure to smack that like button if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, and consider subscribing for more videos on Assassin's Creed Origins, and I'll see you later.